is Colleen. I'll be your moderator, and welcome to a brand new take with Michelle Pettis. Michelle Pettis is a food story finder, an author, a speaker. Michelle, you have the floor.
Yes. So thank you so much, Dr. Colleen Meyer, producer and moderator extraordinaire. So if I look a little different tonight, you guys, it's because I'm doing this live from my phone, and I'm doing it from the convention center in downtown DC. I was just at a fashion show, and I tell you something, the truth is, until I got brand new, until I left large, until I found my food story and found out the truth about how I wanted to show up, I wasn't coming to a fashion show because I didn't really care that much about how I looked. I didn't care about that. But we're here tonight. We're here tonight. I'm here every Sunday night at 7 o'clock so that we can talk about getting brand new. We can talk about changing the relationship that we have with ourselves, changing the relationship that we have with ourselves, so we can change the role that food plays in our life, and we can live authentically, so that we can live in our truth. And so every week, what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks is I've been placing on Facebook a real life situation, because it is the real life scenarios, the real life situations that get us in trouble sometimes. So the first situation that I put up a couple of weeks ago was a friend of mine, out of love, right? He knows my journey, brought me some chocolate that doesn't help me stay and keep my brand new body. So the dilemma was what to do with the chocolate, right? What to do with food that people bring you out of love, but doesn't allow you to love your body. So we had some great comments. We had some great input, great feedback on that question. And I think we all learned, some really useful ways to help us manage situations like that and still stay on track. So the second week, I talked about this. The dilemma was I was walking, right? I was walking, I fell. I walk almost every morning for about an hour. And about 10 minutes into the walk, I fell and I scraped my knee. And we all know that we have situations where we're starting something new and some obstacle just jumps up in front of us. And we have to make a decision if we're going to plow through that obstacle, right? Or we're going to let that obstacle stop us. So we got great feedback 2 weeks ago on how to power through situations, how to evaluate if this is a reason to stop. Is this a reason to take a step back, or do we just keep going and build that keep going muscle, if you will? So we got our situation last week, right? The situation last week was, where I'm in bed with my sweetie, and he pulls out a can of Pringles, and what do you do, right? What do you do? You're not even thinking about food, and somebody else shows up with some food that might be a temptation. How do you recenter yourself? How do you decide, am I really hungry, or am I just responding because food happens to be in my arena? So all we do on this journey to be brand new and manage food differently and get a brand new take on how we manage food is we ask ourselves some questions, right? We ask ourselves, am I hungry right now, or am I feeling something else? Or is it something else that I'm feeling? The second question we ask is, will eating this particular thing get me to the body that I say that I want? Will this get me to a body that I will love, right? And then we also ask ourselves the question, why this now? Why is this eating this particular thing more important than making that journey? So we address all these questions because in as much as we have to change our eating habits, in as much as we have to change our exercise habits and move more, we also have to we have to make the mental adjustments. And, people ask me, what did you do? I have gained and lost over 700 pounds in the course of my lifetime. 700 pounds. And that's because I would lose weight, but I would make the mental changes. I might get to a size 14, but I was still a size 24 in my head. So we have to make the adjustments along the way in our mental and our mental attitude, our belief systems, and our feelings about food as we are actually changing, what we actually eat every day. So that's part of it. If you're tuning in, if you're listening to us on YouTube, if you're watching on the I Am Brand New Facebook page, please, if you have questions, right? If you have questions, put it in the chat. If you want to jump in on StreamYard, please jump in on StreamYard. I don't need to do this. I don't need to talk for 25 minutes all by myself every week. I want some input. I want to hear what you have to say. If you have questions, if it's a question about the dilemma, if you have some insight about the dilemma, if you have your own scenario, I want to hear it. If you are actually watching a brand new take for the first time and you're not familiar with me, I'm your girlfriend, right? I'm your girlfriend that lost and gained 700 pounds, and I want anybody else that wants to get off the yo-yo diet train to get off of it. So I'm telling you every mistake I ever made. I'm sharing every secret I got so that you don't have to go through it, and it doesn't have to take you 42 years. You don't have to be 63 before you figure it out yourself. You can figure it out now. So we'll quickly jump into the dilemma for this week, and Dr. Colleen will share some of the insight and answers and questions and responses that we got to the dilemma. But here was the dilemma. The dilemma was Colleen, what was the dilemma this week?
The dilemma this week was you went out to eat. You decided not to
Yes,
indulge in the free wine and spirits,
yes, yes, yes,
and
yes.
that you had grilled fish and Brussels sprouts, but chose not to eat any of the rice, all very delicious and satisfying. You got full before you could finish your meal. It was all so good, and it was not a cheap meal. And you felt some kind of way about asking for a to-go box because you had eaten more than half of the meal. So you're asking for people's thoughts.
Right, right, right. So how often does it happen to you? How often does it happen to you that you go out and you get full before you finish the meal?
Mm-hmm.
And so, in my mind, all right, I was thinking, all right, if it's half of it that's left, I can see getting a to-go box. But if it's just a little bit left, do you really want to get a to-go box? Is that a dilemma for anybody like it was for me? So I wanted to put that up in the group. And then I also wanted to share is before we even got to the meal, I was hanging out with my girls, some friends in Dallas. We were doing a spa day. And at this spa, they had all manner of wine and spirits and drinks, so that you can relax while you're getting your spa treatments. And I will tell you, in the old days, I would have taken advantage of every drink that was available there, right? Every drink that was available there, whether I really wanted it or not, just because they were offering it. And so now, I make decisions a little differently, right? And what I know is that if I had been buying any of that just like straight out, I wouldn't have taken advantage of it. And, I just made a decision that the extra the extra calories aren't worth it to me. And I can have fun and relax and have a good time with my friends without having to add alcohol to the equation all of the time. So we left the spa and we went out for dinner. And even though Colleen is going to mention this when we get to it, one of the people that wrote in as they responded to my dilemma said that they asked for double vegetables because I mentioned that I didn't eat the rice. And oftentimes I do ask for the double vegetables, and that's an option that we have. And that's an option that many restaurants do offer, is that if they are offering up some sort of starch, if it's potatoes or rice or something that you don't want to eat, You can
Mhm.
get you can get double green vegetables or a salad or double salad, and that'll serve you a lot better. So I was really excited to see that answer and to see that response in the group. And overwhelmingly, people did say, box it up, box it up,
Mhm.
take it home. You paid for it, it's yours. And so those kinds of responses were, really gratifying, and let me know we had a pretty woke group. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and let Dr. Colleen read through some of the responses that we have and that we had, and then we can talk about
Okay. We had Amona say to you, we call them doggy bags. If you are embarrassed, you bought it, take it home.
them. Yeah, I love that, the dog. And I would say it wasn't so much for me a matter of embarrassment, really. But sometimes I think we can be embarrassed by situations like that. But she's right. She's absolutely right. You bought it. It's yours. Do with it as you will. Right. And take it home.
Mm-hmm.
Take take. We can all say it together. Bag it up. Doggy bag it. Take it
Take it
home.
home.
Take it home. All right.
Okay.
What's the
And
next
then
one?
you had Cats, very similar. She said that's a decent amount of food left because there was a picture. I wouldn't have had a problem asking for a box, so she supported you in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Jennifer say, you paid for the food, it's yours to take. In fact, I often ask for them to bring me a to go box at the beginning so I can pack up half before I even start eating. I also did and still do ask for double veggies, which you were talking, this is what you're talking about, instead of starch.
That is
You
that
never
is
hit,
that
go
is
ahead.
so smart. That is so smart what she said about um, asking for asking for the to go bag up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you just
Mm-hmm.
if you ask for it up front, it's not even a question, and then you yourself don't even feel tempted because I don't know if you're like me, it's in the bag or in the box and it's out of mind. You're not even thinking about it, and
Exactly right.
you take the pressure off of yourself. You take the pressure off of yourself if you just have it and put it in the plate. I mean, put it in the box right away. You don't have to worry about it. And the thing about it is that these restaurants, so many of them serve such huge portions. They
Mm-hmm.
serve such huge portions that
Yes.
you end up, before you know it, if you're laughing and talking and you're in the moment with your friends, the next thing you know, you've eaten it all, and you never really intended to do that, right? You just
Yes,
eat that,
exactly right.
you eat past your hunger. At least for me, you eat past my hunger because I'm not thinking about being hungry. I'm not really feeling my body because I'm so focused on the conversation. I'm so focused on what's going on with my friends that so much is going on around me.
Mm-hmm.
You've eaten everything, and you're like, oh my God, I ate all of that, all of that.
Well, Jennifer went on to say, and this is amazing. She went on to say, you never have to be embarrassed to take care of yourself in whatever way serves your goals. She lost 190 pounds and maintained it for 8 years. So good for Jennifer.
Yeah, yeah. That is like super, super exciting. And I will tell you something that I do um a lot of times especially when I go out to restaurants, because sometimes I eat fast, right? I eat faster than everybody else. And I try to work on that. But a lot of times, just in the middle of my meal and even in between the courses, I'll get up and go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get up and go to the bathroom just to give myself a break. Whether it's to fix my hair or use the bathroom or wash my hands or wash my face or just recenter myself. I just I'll excuse myself from the table a couple of times to just slow myself down
Mm-hmm.
and really think about what it is that I'm eating. So that's just this doesn't really have anything to do with what we're talking about tonight, but it's just some restaurant etiquette that I made up.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had Janice say, first, congratulations on passing on the free wine. I couldn't do it. I just gone cold turkey from wine. And she continued, said it's okay not to finish all your food. You did the best thing by not overindulging. The best thing when you're full is to stop eating. So I'd say to you, you did a great job. Congratulations.
So on the thing with the free wine. So I'm going to share right now my 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 alcohol tip for going
Mhm.
out. And it and I may have, if forgive me if you've heard this before, but this is actually one of my favorite uh, ways to break break away from habits. Is that it used to be that I'd go out to eat, and I'd have 3 or 4 drinks with dinner. One or two before dinner, one after dinner, then one with dinner. I think that might be five. But anyway, so what I started doing was I started cutting back gradually. And the first time I went out, um, and I went to a bar, and I asked the bartender for a virgin martini. And the bartender was like, "A virgin martini? Are you kidding me? A martini is all alcohol. How are you going to do that?" And I told him, I said, "Here's what you do. You get that little silver shaker, you put some club soda in it, you put a little splash of pineapple juice in it, and you put a little splash of cranberry juice up. You shake it up and you put it in a martini glass." And he did it. And that's what I had. And what I realized in that moment, that it wasn't the alcohol that was so important to me. It was just the experience of the moment.
Mhm.
It's the glass, it's the shaking, it's the all of that. That's what was important to me. And he did that. And so I started cutting back. I originally, or let's say not originally, but initially, I'd have
Mhm.
a I'd have a virgin martini, my club soda, pineapple juice, and cranberry juice, and then I'd have 2 or 3 or the regular martinis. Then, as time went on, I started having two of my virgin martinis, and then fewer of the regular martinis, until I finally got to the point where all I was drinking was the virgin martinis.
Mhm. That's a
And
good
then after
story.
a while, And then after a while, it didn't even matter if it was in a glass or not. It's just that whatever they put it in was fine.
Mhm.
But it was just a matter of building the habit and getting
Mhm.
used to having it in a different presentation, and realizing that I didn't really want or need the alcohol. And then once I realized how much money I was saving, because at martinis, you go out to dinner, you go out to eat, you get a martini, it's $15. You have 5 of them. How many is that? That's too much money?
That's a lot of money.
That's too much money. I think that's
Holy
75.
cow.
Is that $75? That's way too
No,
much.
two is
And
30. Yeah, $75
yeah, it's
plus
75.
tip. Plus the
And,
tip. If it's
and
just even if it's a bar tab, you got to add tip.
plus the tip, and you don't get a bulk discount. They don't give you don't get a bulk discount. So 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 once I started doing the math, I was like, shoot, I can have 5, 6, I can have 10 of these club sodas and still only spend $5. I'm going with that. I'm gonna go with that. So anyway, it's just a matter of doing something that breaks the habit.
Mm,
We just have to find a way to
yeah.
break the habit, and just something to interrupt the pattern. Whatever the pattern is, once you interrupt it one time, you can continue to interrupt it. But in order to
Mhm.
interrupt the pattern, we just have to be aware that there is a pattern.
That's right.
We have to
It's
be
so
aware that
true.
there's a pattern.
It's so
So,
true. Because I'm like, it's 5 o'clock wine time, you know? It's a pattern. It's 5 o'clock. I have to have a glass of wine. Where's my wine?
right, right, right,
Now I'm
right.
pushing that
I got,
back, Michelle. Now
I
it's
got you.
7:30.
Right, I got you. So,
Um,
oh,
uh,
okay, okay,
ready for more?
yes,
Okay,
ready for
so
more.
both Jennifer and Holly said that they would have a to-go box, and again, Jennifer said she would split the meal in half before taking a bite, so she joined on that. And Holly said, "There's nothing wrong. Congratulations on making great choices." Um, Jackie said, I would have asked to place it in a container, regardless the amount, if you feel you
Mm-hmm,
will eat it later. So in other words, if you're going to eat it, just take it home."
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
then Carolyn said, "Congratulations on your willpower. I even get to go boxes for breakfast now. When she has breakfast out, she has them to go.
Right, right,
Because same thing you said, the portions are too large.
right,
You
right.
know, that's
And
why.
the portions are large like that because the restaurants don't care anything about our bodies.
Mm-mm,
What the restaurants care about is selling food. That's what they
mm-hmm,
care about. The restaurants care about our bar tab. The
that's
restaurants
exactly right.
care about how many tables they're going to turn. The restaurants can care
Mm-hmm.
about what your total order is. That's why they come back with. That's why they keep coming back with this thing. I know because I was a restaurant server for many years with suggestive selling. So you order what you want, right? You order what you want, and then they ask you if you want something else,
Yes.
right?
Always dessert, appetizer, and dessert too.
Absolutely. Would you like to start with an appetizer? Oh yes, of
Mm-hmm.
course I'll start with an appetizer. Would you like a side of this? Would you like a side of that? All of that, it sounds, very hospitable and it sounds very gracious and it sounds all of that. But
Yes.
it also leads us not to pay attention to what our body is actually telling us about what's going to be nourishing and good for us. So we have to be very mindful of that.
Mm.
We have to be very
Um,
mindful of that.
yes, exactly right. Because my daughter used to be a server, and they would win contests depending on how many appetizers and desserts they can sell on the same ticket. So
Absolutely.
it's like a push. It's a push to
Absolutely.
upsell.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're coming down to the wire on this question. But I think I remember someone saying something like, you got two meals in one. And I just love that idea that yeah, you get especially since that place was kind of pricey, that
Mm-hmm.
it serves us. It serves us when we look at it and we're watching our budget, that we can watch
Mm-hmm.
our budget and our waistline at the same time. Our budget, our waistline, our hip line, our bust line, all of that. Watch our weight at the same time just by dividing the meals and having some now and
Mm-hmm.
having some later. And so many of us grew up with that. Don't have it
Mm-hmm.
all right now. It's like delayed gratification. Have
Mm-hmm.
some now, have some later. Just like that candy, now and later. Some now, some later.
What
And,
about that, Michelle? What about that restaurant that we won't mention names that serves Italian food? That they have their specials throughout the year where you buy one meal and you get the whole. They give you a second meal to take home. You know
yes,
what I'm talking
yes,
about?
yes, 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 yes.
I mean, just like a
So
drug dealer right there. You know, here, buy this and this you can take home for later.
right, right. Because they're about selling all the food that they can.
That's exactly.
That's what they're about. And we
Mm-hmm.
have to be vigilant about protecting our bodies. We have to be vigilant about protecting our bodies. And the one way we do it is with portion control. And we have to, so many of us grew up with that story, clean your
Mm-hmm.
plate, right? That's one of the
Mm-hmm.
food stories that we're all that
That's
we're
right.
it's ingrained in our head. Clean your plate. I don't know about y'all, but we work too hard. People work too hard. We don't waste food.
That's right.
So we're not wasting it. We're boxing it up. We're taking it home. We're having a second meal, and we are cleaning our plate, but we're not cleaning it all at one time.
That's right.
So
Exactly right.
you don't have to clean it all at one time. You can clean some now and you can clean some later.
Later.
So how about that? So how about that? So
That's a good one.
I do want to say this. I want to thank you. We're getting to 25 minutes after we got to run, but I do want to thank you for tuning in and supporting a brand new take. I'm praying, I'm hoping, I'm believing that the information that you get when you watch at 7 o'clock on Sundays or whenever
Mhm.
you watch is useful to you, that it's beneficial to you, that it gives you a bump and it gives you the encouragement that you need. And if you are watching for the first time, I encourage you to download a free chapter of my book, Leaving Large, A Food Addict's Memoir, How I Won a 40-Year Battle Over Obesity.
Mhm.
Download your free chapter. The book's coming out. The book's coming out on Amazon in 2 weeks. Right,
Mm-hmm.
this one got in 2 weeks. I'm so excited about it. And what I hope is that from my stories, you'll be able to uncover some truth for yourself in your own stories. And that's what we'll be about. We'll be about discovering our own food truths so that we can live brand new, healthier, healthier lives and have healthier relationships with ourselves and with our friends and our family as we
Exactly.
manage food better.
Yes, exactly.
And I think that might be it. I
Yeah.
think we'll see you next Sunday at 7 o'clock on a
Thank you,
brand new
Michelle.
show.
Enjoy your day. I mean, the rest of your evening at the convention center.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.